Something massive is happening in India right now. It's a huge national transformation, and it's being powered by three enormous interlocking missions. Together, they're designed to completely reshape the country's economy and society. So today, we're going to break down this incredible strategy for building a 21st century nation.
I mean, that really is the central question, isn't it? How on earth do you even begin to modernize a country with more than 1 billion people? Well, the answer seems to be a kind of three-pronged attack, a trio of really ambitious government missions, all launched around the same time, with each one targeting a different but absolutely critical pillar of development.
All right, so let's jump into the first pillar, reimagining urban India. Now, India's cities were growing and fast. So on June 25th, 2015, the government launched the Smart Cities mission. The whole point was to totally transform how cities work and, more importantly, how they feel for the people who actually live in them.
Okay, so smart city, it's a term we hear all the time, right? But what does it actually mean? Well, there isn't one single definition, but the core idea is pretty simple. It's all about using technology, what the experts call information and communication technology, or ICT, to make city operations run smoother, share information better, and just generally improve the quality of life for everyone.
And this is where it gets really interesting. A smart city is so much more than just, free Wi-Fi in the park. We're talking about a whole ecosystem. You've got smart mobility with cleaner and better transport, a smart environment with green buildings, a smart economy to spur new ideas, and a government that's actually easier for citizens to deal with. So, what's the game plan here? Well, it starts with getting the basics right. Solid infrastructure, a clean environment. But the real magic is in applying these smart solutions to tackle those old, stubborn problems that cities have faced for years. The hope is to create a model that other cities across the country can copy and learn from. And get this, the scale of this ambition is just staggering. We're not talking about just a handful of major cities. No, they selected 100 cities all across India to be a part of this high-tech transformation. That is a massive undertaking. Of course, a plan this big needs serious cash. And they brought it. We're talking about an investment of nearly 98,000 crore rupees, which is roughly 13 billion US dollars, all approved for these projects. So yeah, they were definitely putting their money where their mouth is. And this wasn't just talk. The numbers showed that things were actually getting done. By March of 2022, nearly 3,600 of these projects were already finished and up and running. That's real, tangible progress you can see on the ground. Okay, so if smart cities are the shiny new hardware, what's the software that runs it all? Well, that brings us perfectly to Pillar 2, the Digital India Revolution. Launched in July 2015, the goal here was nothing short of creating a digitally empowered society, a kind of digital nervous system for the whole country. It all really boils down to three big ideas. First, treat the internet like you treat water or electricity, a basic utility that everyone should have access to. Second, get rid of the long lines and paperwork by putting government services online, available on demand. And third, make sure people actually know how to use all this new technology. And wow, look at this. Digital India isn't just one single project. It's actually 9 different pillars all working together. You've got everything from the absolute basics, like laying down broadband highways, to big economic goals, like boosting electronics manufacturing right there in India. It's incredibly comprehensive. Now, let's be real. A project this massive is going to have its pros and cons, right? On the plus side, you get way more efficient government and people feel more empowered. But on the other hand, you're dealing with real-world problems like spotty internet speeds, and it can be really tough for small businesses to keep up with all the rapid changes. But the potential payoff? It is absolutely mind-blowing. One analysis suggests that if all this works as planned, Digital India could add $1 trillion to the country's GDP by 2025. Just let that number sink in for a second. That's a huge potential impact. So we've got the smart cities, the hardware. We've got the digital network, the software. But who's going to run it all? The people, of course. And that leads us to our third and final pillar, investing in human capital through the Skill India mission, which also kicked off in July of 2015. I love this mission statement here, empowering youth with skills for sustainable development. That just says it all, doesn't it? This isn't just about finding someone a job for tomorrow. It's about building a career that lasts for a future that's sustainable for everyone. And the scale of this mission, it's almost hard to comprehend. The goal was to provide relevant skills training to nearly 400 million young Indians. It's all about connecting that incredible pool of talent with the opportunities that exist, and at its core, it's about tackling poverty head-on.
And again, this is happening for real. Just look at the progress from two of the big programs under this mission. One scheme, the PMKVY, has trained over 13.5 million people. Another one has trained over 1 million and helped about 700,000 of them actually land jobs. These are life-changing numbers for millions of families. So why does this matter so much? Well, think about the ripple effect. When you have a skilled workforce, everything gets a boost. Productivity goes up, key industries like construction and finance get the talent they need. It even means India can become a go-to source for skilled workers for other countries around the world. It's a total game changer.
All right, so let's pull back and look at the big picture. What's really important to understand here is that these aren't three random, separate projects. They're designed to work together, like three legs of a stool, supporting one single, cohesive vision for the future. And this table just lays it out perfectly. You have smart cities building the modern physical world, you have Digital India building the virtual world, and you have Skill India building up the human talent to thrive in both of those worlds. You see how they all lock together? Each one makes the others stronger.
When you put it all together, the end goal is crystal clear. It is about creating a future-ready India, a nation that's defined by modern, efficient cities, seamless digital access to everything, and a skilled, confident workforce that's ready to power a new kind of economy.
And that leaves us with one final, huge question to think about. When you align these three powerful engines, smarter cities, widespread data, and a newly skilled population, what comes next? What does this all mean for India's place in the global economy? Well, that's the billion-person question, isn't it?